Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about pollution. First, air pollution, followed by water pollution, if time permits. Let us first discuss what is pollution. Addition of undesirable and removal of desirable matter to and from. Addition of undesirable to the given subject and removal of desirable matter from the given subject causes to lose the quality of that subject. So here our subject of interest is air, water and soil. So addition of undesirable substances to air, water and soil and removal of desirable substances from air, water and soil causes harmful effects to their structural constitution. So, when the structural constitution is getting harmful effects, the quality of this air, water and soil will be getting reduced. There is a reduction in the quality of air, water and soil by the addition of undesirable or harmful substances and removal of the useful or desirable substances. Right? So, this reduction in the quality of air, water and soil by the addition of undesirable or harmful substances and removal of the useful or desirable substances is known as pollution of air, water and soil respectively. So, what is pollution? Reduction in the quality of the air, water and soil by the addition of undesirable or harmful substances and removal of the useful or desirable substances is known as pollution of air, water and soil respectively. Let us discuss the air pollution first. So as the definition goes previously, reduction in the quality of air by the addition of harmful matter like lead, arsenic, mercury particles and harmful gases like carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, etc. is known as air pollution. So reduction in the quality of air is caused by what? By the addition of harmful matter like lead, arsenic, mercury particles and harmful gases like carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, etc. is known as air pollution. How oxides of nitrogen and sulfur are released in the air? Fossil fuels, coal, petrol, etc. they contain small amounts of nitrogen and sulfur. Fossil fuels contain small amounts of nitrogen and sulfur. Burning of these fossil fuels, burning of this coal and petroleum, it causes the production of oxides of sulfur and nitrogen. It causes the production of oxides of sulfur and nitrogen. So they are released into the air. Thus, combustion of fossil fuels, combustion means burning with the use of oxygen, is known as combustion. So combustion of fossil fuels also increases the amount of suspended particles in the air. Suspended particles means lead, mercury like that. So you might have seen unleaded petrol, leaded petrol like that. So that means that contain lead. So when it is burnt, when petrol is burnt, lead particles are released, right? So the combustion of fossil fuels also increases the amount of suspended particles in the air. What are the harmful effects of pollutants of air pollution? Pollutant means the one which is causing pollution. The addition of a particular matter, if pollution is caused, that particular matter that is getting added, which is increasing pollution, is known as pollutant. So what are the harmful effects of pollutants of air pollution? So in air pollution, what all the things are involved? Toxic gases, suspended particles, etc. Mainly toxic gases and suspended particles. Inhalation of toxic gases in the air it mainly causes breathing problems. Inhalation of toxic gases in the air causes what? Breathing problems. You might have heard of acid rain. The acid rain takes place when oxides of nitrogen and sulfur are dissolved in the rainwater. Acid rain takes place when oxides of nitrogen and sulfur are dissolved in the rainwater. And this acid rain, what does it actually going to cause problems? Soil should not be at acidic in condition, or it should not be at basic. It must be in the neutral condition. Then only it can support the growth of the plants. So as acid rain takes place, what will be happening? The chemical nature of the soil is getting affected very badly. The soils will become acidic. The acid rain causes the soil pollution. When the quality of the soil is getting affected, that you have to call soil pollution. So because of acid rain, what is caused? Soil pollution. So air pollution is indirectly causing even soil pollution also. And you might have heard of Taj Mahal got damaged because of acid rain. So many monuments, historical monuments, they get damaged because of acid rain. The suspended particles in the air, they cause the visibility impairment. The suspended particles in the air, they cause the visibility impairment. Means you might be going in a car during the early morning in the winter. If there is a lot of pollution, in the winter there is a snow in the surroundings. So this snow, when it is getting mixed with that pollutants of the air, then it forms a particular blurred nature, okay, blurred substance. So that what it is going to cause visibility impairment, right? And that snow plus smoke, it is known as smog. This smog, it impairs our visibility. We cannot see the things which are there near to us, okay, properly, or farther things we can't see also, right? So that is visibility impairment. The suspended particles in the air are the unburnt carbon particles or hydrocarbons. When we burn something, there is a lot of substance of carbon will be left unburnt. And if it is in particle size, it will be just floating in the air. So such suspended particles in the air are generally the unburnt carbon particles or hydrocarbons. When the unburnt particles mix with the snow during the cold weather conditions of the winter, it forms smog. Very easily to remember. Okay, smoke contains the unburnt particles, that is hydrocarbons, and the smoke plus fog. Fog means the snowy dew in the early mornings of the winter. That is fog. So smoke plus fog both together gives smog. Okay, this smog is a visible indication of air pollution. If you are coming across a smog in your area, that means your area is having a lot of air pollution, right? So smog is a visible indication of air pollution. Regular inhalation of polluted air, it causes the incidence of allergies, cancer, and even heart diseases also. The problems like asthma also are caused. Regular inhalation of polluted air. So only people are thriving to go to parks in order to just go for morning walking or jogging or running, so that they will be getting less polluted air there. But within the city, when you go into the traffic, you will have to just inhale the polluted air. So in order to avoid that, we can use the masks. Now we are using the masks in order to prevent the entry of the coronavirus infection. But actually, even if coronavirus infection is not there also, whenever we go into the traffic, better we must wear masks so that we can avoid the air pollution, and we can prevent the incidence of allergies, cancer, and heart problems, because regular inhalation of polluted air causes all these problems like incidence of allergies, cancer, and heart diseases. In the next class, we will discuss about water pollution. But before discussing the water pollution, let us discuss about what is water. Water is called wonder liquid because most of the substances that are present on this earth are soluble in water, right? So majority of the substances are soluble in water. So water is a wonder liquid, and all the living organisms survival is dependent on water because for the process of digestion we require water. We know only that much, but actually inside the living organism, in each and every cell, so many biochemical reactions are continuously taking place. And these biochemical reactions are occurring because of the interaction of biomolecules that are present inside the cells. These biomolecules participate in biochemical reactions in the water dissolved state only. If water is not there, then the biochemical reactions cannot be taking place and the survival of the organism is not going to be possible. Such a wonderful role is played by the water, right? So only water is called wonder liquid. And if we carefully observe the water, okay, in a geographical context, right, water occupies about 71% of the total surface of the earth. And not only on the surface, even in the underground also water is present, right? So most of the surface water is present in the oceans, and this water is saline or salty in nature. Means you can taste it but you can't drink it because of its hypertonic condition. If you drink saline water, what will happen? Your cells will be vomiting out their water because whenever a cell is placed in hypertonic solution, what will happen? Exosmosis takes place. The water present inside the cell will be coming out. That is like vomiting, right? Dehydrated. The cell will be getting dehydrated. So only we cannot drink the oceanic water because it is saline in nature, salty in nature, hypertonic in nature, as per our first chapter, fundamental unit of life, right? So if the entire water in the oceans is saline, then how to get the fresh water which is actually useful for the survival of the living organisms? Yes, fresh water also is there, and where it is present. Majority of the fresh water is found in the ice caps in the frozen condition, right? Where these ice caps are present? In the two poles, North Pole, South Pole, and on snow-covered mountains like Himalayas, right? And where else the fresh water is present? Fresh water is present in rivers. Okay, most of the countries are having rivers. Okay, in our India also there are many rivers like Ganges, Brahmaputra, okay, Yamuna, Tapati, Narmada, Godavari, Krishna, Bhima, like so many rivers are there. All these rivers, they have fresh water flowing in them, and there are many lakes, freshwater lakes. There are many, even salt lakes, also salt water lakes also there, but freshwater lakes, okay, they contain fresh water, and ponds. Okay, freshwater ponds also are present. So in the form of frozen condition in both the poles and on the ice caps of the mountains like Himalayas, and in the rivers and in the lakes and in the ponds, the fresh water is present. So availability of fresh water, it differs from place to place. Okay, availability of fresh water, it differs from place to place. Still, in many places, people are trying very hard to get the fresh water because they don't get they don't have the nearby source of fresh water. So sometimes, especially the people who are living nearby the deserts, they'll have to walk for kilometers together to fetch fresh water of only limited quantity, whereas we are having fresh water in lots of quantity, but without knowing the value of the water, we are wasting a lot of water. Water is already, we have referred as wonder liquid. Don't waste this wonder liquid. Okay, consume it as much as you can if it is required, and use it in a justified manner, not in unjustified manner. Okay, so that water will not be getting exhausted. Even though it is renewable resources, nowadays in many places water has become a very rare available thing for them, right? They may get money but they do not get water, right? Okay, so use the water in a judicious way, right? Thank you.